Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariah and this is Mariah's Moods. And in today's video, we are going to be doing our official second round of It's a Mood TBR. I'm so excited to get through this. I had a blast last month playing the game, but even though I wasn't successful in completing my October TBR from last month's game, I was one book short. I am very excited to get into November and see what the game has in store for this month. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head over to the board and start playing our game. All right, so here we go with our second round of It's a Mood TBR. So real quick recap. For September, I was able to finish 4 books and collect 4 book tokens to start the game. Now for October, I didn't officially finish my October TBR. I was 1 book short of my official TBR, but I did read 8 books. They just weren't all on my official TBR. So for game purposes, I did not finish my TBR. I failed. I failed in that aspect. So I do have to add a spin to today's game. So I'm gonna have 6 spins instead of 5. But I can collect a book token for each book that I did finish. So since I finished 8 books, I'm going to add 8 tokens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that leaves me with 12 book tokens for our game so far. And just as a reminder, refresher, what have you, when I finish the game, every 3 book tokens that I've collected is a 1 book that I can purchase from the bookstore. So looking good so far. I might have to re-evaluate that at the end of this game because my bank account might not appreciate all of those books. But let's go ahead and hop into it. So based on the October game, we ended at a blind pick here. So that's where we're going to pick up during the November TBR game. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and start our first roll. Again, because I didn't finish my TBR, I'm going to have 6 rolls this game. So let's go ahead and do roll number 1. 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I hit this stop sign, and that is in Romance Island. So this means that I'm going to pick this stop sign with this prompt that says, "Stop, you've hit the miscommunication trope. Pay 2 book tokens to afford therapy, or ride through the trope and choose a nightmare pick." Oh my goodness. Do I lose 2 of my tokens or do I pick a nightmare? You know what, since I haven't finished TBRs for the last 2 months, I think I'm deserving of a nightmare, and I want to keep my book tokens because right now that's a good even number. So I'm going to choose a nightmare prompt. I'm probably going to regret this, but you know, we'll sacrifice for entertainment. So I've got my stack of nightmare prompts. I'm gonna shuffle them up really good, and we'll see what I come up with. Oh my god. So it says, time for your ears to have a break. No audiobooks for the month. So I opted, in all of my wisdom, to be greedy. And instead of just paying the 2 tokens to move past the stop sign, I thought it'd be a good choice to choose a nightmare prompt. And what do I get? What do I get for this? What does greed bring me? No audiobooks for the month. No audiobooks for the month. Wonderful. In my brain, I know November only has 30 days, and I know that that's like 1 day short, but something about November flies by. Absolutely flies by. It just seems like such a short month. And I think it's because we have a lot going on. My husband's birthday is in November. My daughter's birthday is in November. We have Thanksgiving happening. Like, it's a busy month. And so, you know, audiobooks would have been helpful. It's going to be a very quiet month. And yes, my ears are going to get a break. That's a true nightmare. True nightmare. All right, let's go ahead with spin number 2 of 6. All right, 2. Now I can decide which route I want to go, and I've already done the nightmare, and I'm a little afraid. I can already see what's coming ahead. I'm gonna strategize, guys. This is strategy, pure strategy. So I'm gonna go this way. 1, 2. So I've landed on a regular old color space, which is just gonna be a Moody card. And so here we go with my Moody cards. Going to mix these up a little bit. Hopefully I don't get like a repeat prompt from last month. So here we go. Escapism can be substitute therapy, right? Pick a high fantasy. So this prompt said, escapism is a substitute for therapy, right? Pick a high fantasy. Again, November's a short month, but you know, it's okay, because we're gonna pick a high fantasy. So I have decided to pick up Malice by John Gwynne. This has been on my shelves for a very long time, and I want to read them. I've heard such great things about this series, and I just want to dive into this book. I really don't know much about what this is about and like the series in itself, and the synopsis is very cryptic, which I think is great, especially when we're going into a high fantasy. I don't want to have much like background information. I kind of want to discover this world along with the story as I'm reading it. So I think what generally I know about this book is that many, many years ago, there was a war between humans and giants, and the humans won. But in now recent times, the giants are kind of like beginning to stir and possibly make a return. And so we're following some humans, I don't know who, that I think are preparing for this war against the giants. That's all I know, and that's all I want to know. I can't wait to get into this one. You know, this is a brick, and you know, an audiobook would have been nice, but that's okay. We can do it. Okay, spin number 3. 5. All right, 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew, okay, bypassed the rainbow and I landed on another solid color. So again, we have another Moody pick. Gonna shuffle these up once again and see what we get. Okay, names have power. Pick a book with a name in the title. All right, so for this prompt, we have names have power. Pick a book with a name in the title. This one was tough because on my shelves don't have many books that have actual names. I couldn't even think of a lot of names, like titled books, but I did have 2, and I decided to go with Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston. So this is the second book. I read the first book, Amari and the Night Brothers, last winter. Absolutely loved it. And I just recently picked up the second book. It's been out for a while. I just was being dumb. And when they originally released the second book, it was in a hardback and my first copy is in a paperback, and I wanted them to match my shelves, and that just says a lot about the person that I am. But I did get the paperback just recently, and I've just been wanting to get into this one. I don't really want to say much about what this is because I don't want to spoil anything from the first book, but the first book is following Amari, who has a very close relationship with her mother and her brother, and her brother goes missing. While they are searching for Quentin, trying to figure out what happened to Quentin, she receives this like mysterious suitcase, and when she opens it, she gets a message from Quentin and an invitation to participate in an internship at this Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. And so these people that work for this bureau basically have supernatural abilities, but their job is to protect people with supernatural abilities from, you know, our human world, the known world. And so she decides to join this internship, not necessarily wanting to work for the bureau, but hopefully figure out maybe what happened to her brother and get some answers and possibly find him. And so that's kind of what happens in the first book. And I don't want to say, you know, what's books revealed in there, but I will just say I cannot wait to dive into this one. It is middle grade, but like I've said many times on my channel, I don't think just because you are not in the age group or like the intended audience of these books that you can't enjoy them. I love middle grade. I love reading middle grade, especially when it comes to interacting with my daughter. So I think we might do a buddy read this month, and I'm excited for it. All right, spin number 4. $8. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I was really wanting a bookish activity. Another moody pick. All right, shuffling once again. Let's see what we get. Humans are meant to live together. Pick a book with more than one person on the cover. This is gonna be tough. All right, so this one was another tough one. We have people are meant to live together. Pick a book with more than one person on the cover. Another one. I don't have a ton of books that have people on the covers. That's, for me, tends to be like a put off. I don't like that, especially if they are like real people. So that just messes with my image of the people, like the characters in the story. So I don't have the lot. If I did, they were romance, and I had read all of those ones, but I did find one. And I don't know how I feel about it, but we're adding it to the list, and that is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I've had this for a long time, almost a year now, and I've never read a Frederick Bachman, but I know that a lot of people like his books, and I've heard great praise about many of his books, and this has 2 people on it, and I'm assuming that they're anxious. That's all I know. Is this a thriller? Like, I honestly, is this a thriller? I just read, like, the synopsis, and I'm confused. I thought this was literary fiction. I could be wrong. Anyways, it says, is a poignant, charming novel about a crime that never took place, a would-be bank robber who disappears into thin air, and 8 extremely anxious strangers who find they have more in common than they ever imagined. And it kind of seems like they get, like, stuck in this apartment together. So that actually sounds really interesting, and that was not at all what I thought this was going to be. I thought this was going to be like a love story about anxious people. Okay, let's do it. All right, spin number 5. 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm getting very lucky with the moody picks today. So here we go. Once again, shuffling them up. Let's do another shuffle. And, oh my God. Here we go. I'm gonna pick this one. Let's just see. Stories expand many places and times. Pick a book set in a different time or country. All right, so for this prompt, we have stories expand many places and times. Pick a book set in a different time or country. So I have decided to pick up The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. I mean, I believe this is a different country, time, universe, because this is fantasy, so I think it counts. Unfortunately, on my TBR, I don't actually have any books that I haven't read that are set in a different country, so I need to work on that. You know, I need to do that. I need to change that. So I have decided to pick The Stardust Thief because it is fantasy, but it is, I think, set in a world that is based off of like Middle Eastern culture, so I think that would be a great fit. So I've heard it kind of be compared to a retelling of Arabian Nights or, you know, the Disney version of Aladdin. But if we think that like the roles are reversed, I think, you know, our Jasmine character is more of the like rough and tough instead of Aladdin, which I think is very intriguing and why I decided to even get this book. But I really don't know much about it. I think we're following a girl named Luli who is a thief. She sells magic illegally. So when she's like doing her illegal deeds, I think she comes in contact with the prince, maybe saves him, and that gets the attention of the Sultan, who I think is not a nice guy. die. And so he blackmails her, and she has to basically find this really important artifact. And she has to travel with the Sultan's oldest son, who I think is also like the leader of the 40 Thieves, while they are trying to like get this artifact. And I think there might be like a bodyguard involved, so maybe some like bodyguard romance with some fantasy. I don't know. It sounds interesting. I really want to get into this one. But you know, it's another long one with no audio. Here we go with our final spin, spin number 6. Two. 1, 2. Oh my god. Okay, I've landed on another nightmare prompt. I'm really regretting not just paying the 2 book tokens. So we have our nightmares here. Gonna shuffle them up a bit and see what we end up with. Sometimes size doesn't matter. Pick the longest book on your shelf. Oh my god. So, don't you love when karma just comes and just bites you in the ass? And that's what I get for being greedy at the start of this game. You know, I thought I was being smart, and I thought I was, you know, giving a little bit of entertainment by choosing the nightmare prompt and not paying that 2. And somehow I feel like that choice has landed me where I'm at now, because, you know, lo and behold, I land on another nightmare. I land on another nightmare in one game. And that says, sometimes size does matter. Pick the longest book on your shelf. I feel like this is a double whammy, because not only do I have to pick the longest book on my shelf, I can't even listen to an audiobook to help me get through it. So this one took a little bit of time, because I wanted to be honest, and I wanted to keep the integrity of this game. So I didn't just look at page count on my shelf, because, you know, we've got a lot of factors that go into page count. We got the size of the font, we get the size of the margins, all of that fun jazz. So I decided, how is it going to be the most accurate? How do I pick the truly longest book on my shelf? So I decided to go and look at the word count. So I picked books that I think just like appeared to be the largest and had high page counts. And then I did some little searching, and I looked at word counts, and it came down to 3 on my shelf. The 3 it came down to was Malice, Kingdom of Ash, and The House of Earth and Blood. Both of these by Sarah J. Maas and John Gwynne. But upon research of that word count, the winner of the longest book on my shelf is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This one won by quite a bit. I was actually surprised. I thought it was going to be Crescent City 1. It was not. It was Kingdom of Ash. So I will show you my numbers here, my research. So these two were very close in number. Both of them had 162,000 words, but Malice beat out by 250 words. 250, that was it. But Kingdom of Ash came in a landslide with a whopping 248,000 words. So that technically is the longest book on my physical shelves. Sarah Janet, what are you doing? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? 248,000 words. What are we saying? What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm intimidated. I am scared, but I am ready. I am ready. This is the final book of the Throne of Glass series. I've been putting this book off for months. Months, guys. You know how many times I've picked up this book thinking, yep, it's time. We're going to finish Throne of Glass. I get through 2 chapters and I'm not mentally prepared for this. I am not mentally prepared for this, but it's happening. It's on the list. It's happening. Top priority. Would have loved to have an audiobook because I do love the audiobook narrator that does the Throne of Glass series. She's fantastic. But no, it's just going to be me and Sarah and her 248,000 words. It's going to be so fun. So fun. So that's why I decided on this one, because I was super excited about Malice. So I just put it with the other, you know, high fantasy, because, you know, I love to punish myself, obviously, if you've not learned. All right, well, I will see you guys in December, and hopefully I have a little more luck on the board. We will start off on that space next month. All right, guys. Oh, God. So here we are. Here it is. Here is our TBR for the month of November. Usually I will add a couple of books as I'm mood reading through the month, but you know, I don't think I'm gonna have time or the mental capacity to do so. So I'm gonna really try and stick to these 5 books. I'm scared. I'm scared, guys. Please send all the positive vibes and good moods. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you enjoyed playing It's a Mood TBR game with me. I think it would be really fun for us to kind of play along. So if you want to try and build a TBR based on the prompts that we rolled today, I would love to see what you kind of come up with. But if you just enjoyed the video, let me know down below. If you have any other suggestions of maybe some moody prompts, nightmare prompts, anything that you think I could add to the game to make it a little more fun and entertaining, please let me know down below. If you like this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like, do all of the things. If you like bookish lifestyle content, you're in the right place. I hope you're having a wonderful time out there and your day is full of good moods and good vibes. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!